City's finest.
Good afternoon, Ghana. It's 12 o'clock. Time to reach for mobile water. Mobile water, unique in every way.
Citi Prime News at 12 midday. Updates you on all the running stories and connects you to the newsmakers.
City News.
It's midday. Hello, good afternoon, and welcome to the Citi Prime News. We're coming to you live from our studios in Accra. My name is Ajua Tinkrama Domina. Coming up this afternoon,
we are of the view that the subject of the litigation being a bill still undergoing the process of becoming law, it will be premature for this court to exercise its interpretive and enforcement jurisdiction to intervene.
Supreme Court dismisses two separate applications challenging the anti-LGBTQ+ bill, paving way for the transmission of the bill to the presidency. Also coming up in the bulletin, President-elect John Mahama constitutes a 5-member team to begin preparations for implementation of the NDC's Operation Recover or Loot Oral. We'll hear from an anti-corruption crusader, Vitus Azim, who wants a close collaboration with existing anti-corruption institutions.
Would actually need to work hand in hand with them to avoid unnecessary duplication and conflict. These things happen. There have been issues where the Office of Special Prosecutor wants some information from the police, and the police are reluctant to give that information.
Still in the bulletin, 2 children reportedly die from malnutrition in Boko as health officers attribute increasing cases of malnutrition to protracted conflict.
Businesses have stalled. A lot of trading activities are not going as they used to. So families are not in good standing as they used to be when it comes to their nutrition and their food security.
And later in the bulletin, motorists on Accra Amasaman stretch lament heavy traffic congestion as they urge a revival of the railway sector to ease traffic ahead of Christmas.
Here, I can see it's usually the worst in Accra. Especially on the show in the morning is bad, and because of that sometimes you see drivers taking advantage of that, and the fare they will increase it because they feel like yes, regardless of that, people will still pay.
Please stay for details of this and more stories coming your way in 30 minutes. Remember, the news is live across the globe on citynewsroom.com. Around the country, we are live on a number of affiliate stations in the Western region. Tune into Ajimpa 100.7 FM in Takwa Beach, 105.5 FM in Takrade, Sky Power 93.5 FM in Takrade. In Abono region, this is Greener 95.9 FM in Sunyai. In the Ashanti region, tune into Focus 94.3 FM in Kumasi, Orange 107.9 FM in Kumasi. In the Volta region, this is Revival 99.3 FM in Tajevu, VOV Radio 95.7 in Hohoi. In the Northern region, we are Radio Bimbila 91.9 FM in Upper East. You can find us on Quality 88.7 FM in Garu. And in the Upper West region, this is Tunsong 97.3 FM in Wa and Jirapa 96.1 FM. Please stay for details.
Citi Prime News at 12 midday. Updates you on all the running stories and connects you to the newsmakers.
A very warm welcome to you. We begin today's bulletin from the court, and the Supreme Court, presided over by Justice Lovelace Avril Johnson, has unanimously dismissed a petition filed by broadcast journalist Richard Delasky challenging the constitutionality of the Human Sexual Rights and Family Values Bill. The petitioner sought a declaration from the court that a bill which has sparked widespread debate across the country was null and void. However, the Apex Court rejected the petition, citing that an interpretation can only be made when the bill is signed into law. The court has also dismissed the application by Dr. Amanda Odoy, raising concerns about specific provisions in the Human Sexual Rights and Family Values Bill.
The judgment of the court is unanimous. Upon hearing the parties orally and on considering the arguments as contained in their statements, we come to the unanimous decision that the plaintiff's writ does not properly invoke the exclusive jurisdiction of this court. We are of the view that the subject of the litigation, being a bill still undergoing the process of becoming law, in accordance with the provisions fully set out in the Constitution, it will be premature for this court to exercise its interpretive and enforcement jurisdiction to intervene. Consequently, we think that the action fails. It is accordingly dismissed. Reasons will be available in the registry by close of day on Friday.
As a court, please is made.
So that's Justice Lovelace Avril Johnson. Let's now hear from lawyer for Richard Delaskai, Pakwesi Abedu, who spoke to the media after proceedings.
Bear in mind that it was a seven-member panel. That's one thing we must bear in mind. A seven-member panel. And going for a review will mean an additional judges. And the question we should ask ourselves is, would that make any difference? So we are yet to advise ourselves on it. Lead me not into temptation. I've not as yet seen the full reasoning of the court. Who am I to come openly on what next step I'm taking? I believe it is not proper. So please, let's all abide with the timetable of the court. They say latest by this Friday, we'll have the full ruling. You may recall that we filed an application for interlocutory injunction together with our rates. And the Supreme Court indicated that its ruling on that application will be determined together with the rates. We have not as yet seen their pronouncement on that. So please, based upon the content of the judgment, we will know the next step to take. For now, we are not in the position to tell us what next we are doing. I'm very limited.
Well, that's Pakwesi Abedu, his lawyer for Richard Delaskai. Let's hear from Dr. Ernest Ako, who is counsel for the other petitioner, Dr. Amanda Odoi, who says the next line of action will be determined after reading the judgment.
Well, we disagree with the court decision. We respect the decision they have given, but we disagree with it. We are yet to have the full record, which the court has indicated it to produce on Friday. So when we get it, we'll study it and we'll know our next line of action. So for now, we aren't saying much. I know some people are talking about review and all that, but we have to see the record first.
Should the president go ahead to sign this bill into law, what will be your team's, next line of action again, if I may ask?
We wait to see if the president will sign. But the record, like I said, is yet to come out on Friday. And so when we have the record and we consult with our clients, then we will see the next line of action. And before then, anything can happen. So yes, the decision of the Supreme Court is final, but this is not final. There is another leg of finality to go. There is a review jurisdiction of the Supreme Court, which is available to us if we want to use it. And so it's not final yet. It doesn't matter. There have been instances where there have been a 5-0 and an appeal. On review, it has been overturned. So anything can happen. And we have to... that's a review. So we wait to see. So it depends on what is in there in the judgment, and then we can advise ourselves.
So you heard that Dr. Ernest Ako, he's counsel for Amanda Odoi, one of the petitioners whose case have been dismissed by the Supreme Court. Let's now speak to Ningo Pram, Member of Parliament, Simon Ete George, and lead proponent of this particular bill. Good afternoon, Honourable. Thank you for joining us here on the news.
Good afternoon.
What will be your immediate reaction to the unanimous decision by the court today?
Well, better late than never. We would have hoped that this judgment would have been dispensed of or given much earlier. This has taken 10 long months, which we think is long overdue. Justice delayed is justice denied. But I think that this brings an end to this unnecessary saga. It's been a waste of everybody's time. I think that we need to proceed. I believe that the Speaker of Parliament directed the Clerk of Parliament in November to resubmit the bill to the President. If that has not been done, I expect that to be done before the end of this week or earliest next week. And once that is done, President Akufo-Addo will then be called upon to act within Article 106 of the Constitution and give a decision as to whether to accent within 7 days, or if he chooses that he will not accent to it, then he would have to state the reasons for which he's not accenting to it. I think that we need to move on right now as a country. There's been too much unnecessary drama over this. and the president just needs to act, do his constitutional mandate, and act in accordance with Article 106.
Well, Honorable, if the president doesn't assent to this bill, then what?
Well, Article 106 is clear. If he says he won't assent to it, he has to write back to Parliament with the reasons why he's not assenting to it and state his recommendations by way of amendments to the bill for Parliament to consider it. So, yeah. It's not a matter of saying I don't want to assent to it. It doesn't end there. There's a constitutional requirement for him to state why he will not assent to it. The only time he doesn't need to give us a reason is if he's going to assent to it. So 106, 7 to 10 is pretty clear on that.
Will there be any push from your side to ensure the assent is given in due time?
My job is as a legislator. My job is in Parliament. I've done my job. I've done the bill. We've passed it through Parliament. What's left now is the president's responsibility. That's the role of the executive. The president has to act within the remit of the Constitution.
Very well, thank you so much for speaking to us. That's Samuel Nete George. He's Member of Parliament for Ningo Prampram, also a lead proponent of the anti-LGBTQ plus bill. Let's stay on matters of critical bills. The Member of Parliament for Medina, Francis Xavier Susu, has disclosed plans by the Minority Caucus to reintroduce critical bills which have been denied assent by President Akufo-Addo in the 9th Parliament. Now, this comes after the Supreme Court dismissed the petition challenging the constitutionality of the anti-gay bill, paving way for the president to either assent or decline the bill. Francis Xavier Susu reacted to the development in an interaction with journalists in Parliament.
Honestly, we don't have enough time. However, we'll leave it to the president and see what the president will do with this one.
Do you suspect this bill will die with the 8th Parliament?
Well, if this bill dies with the 8th Parliament, it won't be the only bill that dies with the old Parliament. I have introduced or initiated about 20 private bills. 3 of them have passed into law. Only one has presidential assent. Indeed, the other one that abolished the penalty in the Ghana Armed Forces has not been signed yet. It's still with the president. The anti-witchcraft bill has been passed, but does not have presidential assent. So we are looking at what the president may do. Indeed, if he doesn't sign them, they will die with this Parliament. But it would be our duty as members re-elected into the House to pay attention to all critical bills that have not been assented to, so we can reintroduce them either through the government or through private members' initiative.
You heard the Member of Parliament for Medina, Francis Xavier Susu. Let's stay in Parliament. Now, President Akufo-Addo has formally submitted the 2025 mini-budget to Parliament, detailing allocations for the Judiciary and the Judicial Service, Parliament and the Parliamentary Service and the Ghana Audit Service for the first quarter of 2025. The Judiciary and Judicial Service are set to receive 276 million Ghana cedis, while the Ghana Audit Service is allocated 217 million cedis. Parliament and the Parliamentary Service are projected to spend 450 million cedis between January and March 2025. Now, this submission precedes the Finance Minister Dr. Mohamed Amin Adam's presentation of the expenditure in advance of appropriation. Here's the Speaker, Alban Bagbin, delivering the President's message to the House.
2025 budget of the Judiciary and Judicial Service. In accordance with Article 1793 of the Constitution, the Chief Justice, Mrs. Justice Gertrude Saki Tokonu, by letter dated 21st October 2024, submitted to me the 2025 budget estimates of the Judiciary and the Judicial Service. Under Article 1794 and 5, I am required to lay before Parliament the budget estimates of the Judiciary and the Judicial Service of any recommendations that government may have on them. Accordingly, I submit herewith the budget estimates of the Judicial and the Judicial Service for the first quarter of the 2025 financial year as summarized below. Honorable members, the total of the summary for compensation, goods and services, CAPEX and IGF is 276,499,903. I would be grateful if you could cause these estimates of the Judicial and Judicial Service to be laid before Parliament. I count on your usual cooperation. Yours sincerely, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo.
He had the Speaker of Parliament, Alban Babin. Away from that now, anti-corruption crusader Vitus Azim has urged members of the National Democratic Congress's Operation Recover Olud Oral team to collaborate with existing anti-corruption institutions to prevent duplication of efforts. President-elect John Mahama earlier announced a 5-member team tasked with preparing for the rollout of the Oral Initiative aimed at tackling corruption and recovering misappropriated funds and state resources. Now speaking to Citi News, Vitus Azim, who is also the former executive director of the Ghana Integrity Initiative, acknowledged the competence of the team members but emphasized the importance of collaboration to avoid unnecessary overlaps and potential conflict.
That make up the team. Even though I don't know some of them personally, at least I can say that they form a solid team and that they should be able to do the work that they have been mandated to do. They would actually need to work hand in hand with them to avoid unnecessary duplication and conflicts. These things happen. There have been issues where the Office of Special Prosecutor wants some information from the police and the police are reluctant to give that information. Or where the president, an office, a state institution will be doing work, investigating a particular matter, then the president will also come out and ask the police to go ahead and investigate. And then that is a waste of time and resources. And that should be, as much as possible, be avoided. So they need to collaborate with the institution, look at their mandates properly, and collaborate with them to ensure that there's no duplication. Now, at the end of the day, they succeed in what they are appointed to do.
You heard Vitus Azim. He's an anti-corruption crusader and former executive director of the Ghana Integrity Initiative. Well, for the purpose of information, the persons named as members of the oral team are North Tongue Member of Parliament Samuel Kujetwa Blakwa, former Auditor General Daniel Domelevo, retired Commissioner of Police Nathaniel Kofi Boache, private legal practitioner Martin Pebu, and investigative journalist Raymond Archer. Well, Citi News sources review that a meeting has actually been scheduled today for the team members to strategize and outline the approach for fulfilling their mandate. You're still listening to the Citi Prime News. When we return, 2 children reportedly died from malnutrition in Boko as health officers attribute increase in cases to protracted conflict. We have details of this and other stories coming up shortly. Please stay.
Citi Prime News at 12 midday. Update you on all the running stories and connects you to the newsmakers.
Channel 1 TV is live on DSTV, GoTV, and HD+. On DSTV, find us on Channel 363. On GoTV, we're on Channel 117. And on HD+, get us on Channel 108. On a digital TV, run a new search. But take note that without an antenna, you cannot access Channel 1 TV. Channel 1 TV can be accessed on any free-to-air digital box, like the DSTV and HD+ boxes. Channel 1 TV. Telling your story, empowering change.
Citi Prime News at 12 midday. Updates you on all the running stories and connects you to the newsmakers.
Thank you for staying with us. Now, the Electoral Commission of Ghana has expressed concerns over inadequate security for its personnel during and after the December polls. The Commission indicates that some of its officers were attacked by party supporters, even in the presence of security personnel who were outnumbered, hindering the officers from fully executing their duties. Speaking at an event organized by the Ghana Center for Democratic Development, CDD Ghana, to present findings on incidents related to the 2024 elections, Deputy Electoral Commissioner in charge of training, Dr. Serebo Kwaku, called for stakeholder discussions on ensuring adequate security for electoral officials and at collation centers.
Because if you don't have the security, no matter how well you prepare for it, you to come to naught. In a situation where this police command themselves are being turned upside down. And then I was saying that now no part of the collation process is safe because they can come in at any time. The commission had wanted to even today to have a look at all these things if you can recollect. We go to the NTP, they have written back to us that they can assure the safety of the business. I have it up there, and I just showed it to you. So, what are we now?
had Deputy Electoral Commissioner in charge of training, Dr. Sribo Kwaku. Away from that now, at least 2 children have died from malnutrition out of 65 cases reported in Boko in the Upper East region this year. The area has seen rising cases of nutritional deficiencies, leaving children malnourished and causing other health issues such as anemia in pregnant women. Speaking to City News, the Boko Municipal Health Nutrition Officer Barthomeo Asigri noted a significant surge in cases in 2023 with 297 cases recorded. He attributed this concerning development to the ongoing conflict in the area.
Within Boko municipality, what we think would be a cause of these high cases that we are recording, we could partly associate it to the conflict. I'm saying so because when you look at the Boko municipality, it is regarded as a business hub, even within the country. Unfortunately, within the past 3 years, since the conflict erupted, businesses have stalled. A lot of trading activities are not going as they used to. So families are not actually in good standing as they used to be when it comes to their nutrition and their food security. So it also has a way of affecting the feeding within the households. And I think basically we've done a couple of surveys to actually see that the number of meals taken before and after the conflict, some areas, I think we just did some samples. And some of them, especially with those who have the caregivers of these children, they actually admit to the fact that their feeding, number of times they feed has actually reduced. And that could in a way have a bearing on the high cases that we are recording.
You heard the Boko Municipal Health Nutrition Officer in the Upper East region, Barthomeo Asigri. Let's stay in Boko, as security agencies in the area have intensified efforts to combat violence in the area by deploying drones to track weapons and gunmen. According to reports, this initiative has led to the apprehension of some individuals and the confiscation of arms. The drones provide aerial surveillance, capturing images of combatants in action, which allows security forces to pursue and arrest the perpetrators. Now, earlier today, gunmen engaged in a fierce battle in the Boko, Jengande and Palore enclaves. A sporadic gunfire was reported around 6 a.m. Although no casualties have been confirmed yet, the situation follows Tuesday's incident where 2 people were killed, further escalating tensions in the area. Now, moving on, an unidentified man has been arrested for vandalizing vehicles on the premises of Parliament. Reports indicate that a suspect believed to be a young man entered the legislature's premises and began smashing the windshields of parked vehicles. Parliamentary security personnel subdued him before handing him over to police officers stationed in Parliament. Here is an excerpt of the suspect's cries as he was escorted away by the police.
Father, have mercy on them! 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 Daddy, they don't know what they are doing. Elohim, they don't know what they are doing. Elohim, they don't know what they are doing. Father, have mercy on my people. Father, found them, mercy on them. Hey, it's for your own good. 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 Let me over. Let me have mercy on them. Let me have mercy on them. Let me have mercy on them. Elohika.
Well, you heard the cries of a man arrested in Parliament today for vandalizing vehicles on the premises. We'll follow up on this story and bring you more updates subsequently. But now the Renal Patients Association has expressed optimism about the incoming John Mahama administration to sustain the free dialysis program introduced by the outgoing government. The program, which commenced on December 1, has sparked discussions about its continuity after the current administration leaves office. Spokesperson for the association, Kojo Ahenkra, told City News that the next government should prioritize absorbing the program's cost to ensure its sustainability and maintain access for patients in need.
For we are just hoping things go as planned. And because NI is made us understood that they are putting that thing on their claims package. So now it's part of their claims package. So they don't see the reason that there should be any problem. So we are raising concern that we think both NDC and NPP were saying they will do free dialysis. So if somebody has started, then we think if the next incoming government can continue. Already, they also have a plan of creating, some fund to take care of this thing. So at the end of the day, whether it's left or right, it's all endured to making patients on dialysis patients to enjoy free dialysis. So we are hoping that it will continue. And whatever budget the outgoing government put it down, they were saying is capable of their handling it. So we think they should be able to do it. So.
He had spokesperson for the Renal Patients Association, Kujo Ahenkra. Before we go, as the Christmas festivities approach, users of the Accra Amasaman stretch are urging government to revive the once vibrant railway system that once served commuters in and around Amasaman, Ofanko, Taifa and surrounding areas. Now, they may bemoan that the hectic traffic congestion on the road more often than not makes it impossible to get to one's destination on time. According to them, the availability of a railway system will aid in timely commuting. Citi News' Sarah Appiah has more in this report.
Approximately an hour or more is spent in traffic on the Accra-Amasaman stretch after spending about 40 minutes in securing a commercial vehicle. Other times, rather than a single vehicle conveying one from Circle to Amasaman, the heavy traffic congestion makes the availability of vehicles difficult, resulting in boarding at least 3 vehicles before arriving at a destination. These and more are the concerns of commuters on the stretch, lamenting that such situations cause stress to travelers and delay in getting to work from home and vice versa. Drivers also take advantage of the situation to increase transport fares.
Here, I can see it's usually the worst in Accra, especially on the show in the morning is bad. And because of that, sometimes you see drivers taking advantage of that. And the fare, they will increase it because they feel like, yes, regardless of that, people will still pay. This place from here to Amasaman is not 10 cities, it's 6 cities. But because of the people, they have increased it.
The fare is increased when night falls from Achimota to Amasaman. We are quite a number of individuals here seeking to board vehicle home. Thieves take advantage of the situation to rob us as well.
Among these concerns lies a desperate need to find alternative means of transport for rapid commuting. As the population of the country increases in number and the agriculture sector expands, it highlights the need to find diverse means of transit to facilitate the movement of people and the haulage of goods. In a contemporary society like Ghana, the passenger rail service is ordinarily underutilized compared to countries like South Africa and Egypt. According to commuters, improving the rail system will assist in lessening the burden on commercial drivers and reduce the traffic situation. Some also presume that it will significantly impact the purchase of fuel.
It will be beneficial to us if we have an effective railway system. It will aid in cutting down the frequent purchase of fuel. Authorities should do well to revive it.
Initially, the Eastern Railway line from Accra to Kumasi passed through Nsawam, Amasaman, Taifa, and Domik. This provided workers, students, and traders with various options of transit. Sadly, this is no longer the case as the railway tracks have been tampered with and structures have been erected along the rails. In 2018, the Gaist MCE, in collaboration with the Ministry of Railway Development, organized a public engagement with residents along the railway lines. This was aimed at sensitizing them to vacate the area to allow for reconstruction work to take place. However, the state of the rail lines is deplorable, almost non-existent. Residents shared concerns with Channel 1 News.
The train reaches either Nsawam or Accra latest by 7:30, so it helped expedite one's movement for the day. But that is no longer the case. We've also noticed how the rail lines have been detached from the ground.
The train, since about former President Mahama in the government, the train doesn't work since. Other rallies in the Kufo, the train work at that time. But since Mahama and the Akufo-Addo, the train is not working. So it affect the transportation and the food, because actually from here go to Accra and return back, the food is cheaper Accra. But now financial problem, money matter is difficult.
Yet, efforts to have the Ghana Railway Development Authority offer insights into the matter proved futile.
City News' Sarah Pia with that report, and that brings us to the end of today's edition of the Citi Prime News, which has been live from our studio in Accra. You can log on to citynewsroom.com for more stories. My name is Ajua Tinkrama Dumna. Thank you for your company. Good afternoon.
City News.